how do you check that your thicknesser planer is parallel, is true from one end of the cutter block to the other end of the cutter block to the table itself? Now I know what you're going to say. Don't you just set the knives up to the cutter block? Yes, but if the cutter block itself isn't true to the table, you ain't going to be producing a parallel board. Now, a subscriber to the channel, also a Patreon member, I believe, said he's got a bit of an issue. Now, he's finding that his boards are coming out, they're parallel, not parallel, okay, from one end to the other by 0.1 millimetres, which isn't a lot, but if you're going to be getting to that kind of position, well then obviously you're going to have to make sure that your machine is precise. This one currently is not. I've already checked it, because I've got to be thinking, I've done that for ages, I haven't checked this for parallel for a long time. Now to do that, what you're going to need to do is, alright, just a second, alright, here we are. Oh, here it is. Alright, you need to disconnect it from the mains, because you don't want to put your fingers inside there, just in case you accidentally turn it on or something stupid happens with the switch or something, just in case. Probably would never happen, but you never know. Chance prefers the prepared mind. That's what they tell me, yeah. And then you want to get yourself another serpent, anyway, an airline like so, and blow it out, okay? It's very important to do that. Otherwise, your measurements that you take will not be accurate. Oh my giddy aunt, someone's brought me lunch. Oh, I do love you. Oh, ain't she lovely? Yeah, okay, thank you. Ain't she a lucky woman having me for a husband? Anyway, leave that in the comments down below. So, when you check this for square, you obviously got to make sure it's all clean. Take off the hood as well if you've got a hood on the top for extraction purposes. Now, you can also use this method on a box plane, although box planers generally don't have much adjustment, if any, at all. That could be a bit of an issue. The other thing you need to be sure of is that your table is true from one end of the table to the other end of the table. Because whatever happens in the middle there ain't going to make any difference if your piece of wood is passing through the thicknesser and it's been bridged at the ends, and effectively it's going to be higher in the middle on one end of this actual table to the other. So you need to make sure that's true as well, because that could also influence your cut and the accuracy of the machine. Now, box planers, like I was saying, aren't very accurate anyway. Let's be honest, they're not. Because they're not built that way. This thing weighs a flippin' ton, alright? It's a 12-inch multi-coat plane. It's only a 230-volt version. Because I basically run all my electricity via solar, you see. We're running off solar panels here and wind turbines. The old eco thing, you know. Trying to be a good person and all that. So, anyway, so this particular machine is on 230 volts. It's not too powerful, but it is heavy. Alright? I say it's not too powerful, it's actually got plenty of power in it. It's more enough power than what it needs anyway. So, what you're going to need is a way of measuring from the actual block to the table. Unfortunately, these tables go up and down. So you don't need an actual fixed measurement and write it down. No. You just need to know what the difference is from one end to the other. And it isn't that difficult. Now, you might want to get yourself some setting blocks. The only thing is they can be quite pricey for a set of setting blocks. You could just get a piece of hardwood, cut it to length, make sure the end is perfectly square on both ends. So you've got like a true block, make it about 100mm or whatever. But also you might want to make more than one. Okay? One for when the table's right at the bottom, and one for when the table's right at the top. Okay? If you can get it in. Right? So be sensible about it. You've got to make sure you can get it in. Now you can do that with, say, for instance, making a setting block, but put a little wooden handle on something. Because obviously when the table's all the way up, you're not going to get your hands in, are you? No. So you could do it on a little setting block and just do it manually that way. Just see whether or not the actual table is true to the cut block. So you can tell quite easily. I'll show you what I mean. Now I'm not using set of blocks, no. I'm using a setting foot. Alright? So yes, I am a cheapskate using an IKEA adjustable foot. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to release the table down a bit just so I can get it in. And I think myself, oh, okay, there's a problem here. And the problem is that the actual cutter block is rotating. So what you have to do is you have to find the bottom edge, because I'm going to use this edge here, not the plain iron, this edge here as my reference face. Your reference face might be different to my reference face, but that's what I'm going to use. Now you'll have to make your own decision on that. And then I'm going to use a wedge, which I did have one here a minute ago. What have I done with that? Found me wedge. Alright, so I'm going to set the cutter block so that is at its lowest point. I'm going to grab a wedge and just place it in there, just gently, just to hold the cutter block so it stops it from turning. Otherwise it'd be really annoying and won't be very accurate. Just tap it in, not too tight, because I don't want to influence the cutter block itself. I just want to hold it so it doesn't move. Now run my hand on the bottom here, obviously make sure you don't cut yourself on the plane, on the knives. So I'm quite happy that's in a fixed position. So what I'm going to do now is grab my setting device. I'm going to raise the table until the cut block touches my little my foot. In this case, it's my makeshift setting block, until it just about touches. I don't want to squeeze it, because if I try and squeeze it, I'll be pushing down on the table. I don't want to be doing that. So that's in there, just touching there. Now what I want to do is move it along to the other end of the cut block and see whether or not you can get it in, or if there's slack. Now in this case, I can't get it in. That's what she said. Right, so if I push this along here like so, it gets tight and tight and tighter. So that tells me that currently this side of the table is lower than that side of the table, or the cutter block is lower on this side and higher on this side. Now, what do you do about it? Well, you're going to have to shim it, unfortunately. Now, most planes have very little or no adjustment in the cutter block, very little or no adjustment in the table. Now, the more expensive machines do. This actually has got some adjustment in it, so hopefully I can sort that out. Now, some machines are different to others as well. The way the actual table is mounted in the machine. Now, this one has a dovetail, and I'll explain in a moment why that is. It can be problematic. Now, my other plane, which is behind me, which is an over and under machine, where you've got the surfacer and the thicknesser underneath, or surface on the top and the thickness underneath, and hence over and under, the table is on a column, and that moves up and down. So that has equal pressure all the way around, within reason. If there's any slop in it, or the workpiece you're putting through is heavy and there's any movement, well then needless to say, you're going to be moving your piece of wood away from the cutter block, maybe on one side more than the other. Yet again, you ain't going to be getting a parallel cut. Now, if you want to shim it though, you need to know what the difference is from one end to the other. And that's where some feeler gauges like these ones, actually not like these ones, because yeah, they got a little bit rusty. I've actually ordered some new ones, some stainless steel feeler gauges for this purpose. Now, this is the purpose of the video, right? I might end up using these as the shims. Right, because obviously they're no good. You can't actually see the numbers on them anymore. I try to clean them up, it doesn't work. You just take off all the etching, the laser etching off with the numbers on, which is exactly what I've done. Right, what you can do is, you see, once you've worked out, you've got that underneath there like so, and it's squeezed up, get your feeler gauge and see what difference it is. Now, the ideal way to do this is to start on in this case it would be the other end, which is lower. So squeeze it up on this end, okay, right, not too tight, just so it's touching, yeah, like so, and bring it over to the other end, use your feeler gauges and work out by putting it between the feeler gauge and the cutter block and see what the difference is. Now, I think this one's probably worse, so there's slop in there, do you hear that slop? Yeah, it's a bit excessive, probably about 0.5 millimetre. So this table, at this height, this setting here, which currently is at around 100 mil, is, well, about 0.5 millimetre out from one end to the other. Now, I mentioned earlier about the the actual mounting for the table, and I'll show you in a moment. But also, when you check this, repeat the process by turning the block around completely and do the other side as well, just to make sure. So you're basically doing this twice, and double check with your feeler gauges and write down the actual measurement that is on your feeler gauge. Now I'm probably going to use these ones as shims if I have to. Now I did mention, like I say, about the table, so let's take this setting block out and I'll explain to you why the table could be a problem. Now I'm going to bring the table up, right? Now with the table all the way up, there could be an even bigger difference. Alright, now there's a reason for that. On this particular table, yours might be different. Right, now this is a heavy machine, heavy machine. Right, your machine could be a lot lighter. Your problems could be worse, and your planer might not even be possible for it to create a parallel board. And up it goes. Oh, I wish it was electric. Right, so underneath here, on this machine, there is, can I get any higher? No, this thing here is, I don't know if you can see that. I've got to get that a bit brighter for you. In the shadows, okay, that is a dovetail slide. Now, that dovetail slide fits within a dovetail. Now, this particular machine has an arrangement on the side where there's like a shim that clamps up against the dovetail. Now, if that isn't set correctly and well set up, as the table gets to its highest point, in other words, more the dovetail is poking out at the top, the more likely the table is going to sag on this end. And currently, it is. So it might not be the cutter block, it's more likely to be the table from the top to the bottom has basically sagged away from the actual main carcass of the actual planer itself. It might be just simple that I need to adjust that. So you have to solve the cause of the problem before you try and actually fix the problem. Because if that is going to be a different measurement from the top to the bottom, no matter what you do, shimming this table up, it's never going to be right. Because at some point, it might be right, but all the other points it won't. Right? So it's like a stop clock is right twice a day, isn't it? You know, that's what they say. So that's something you've got to watch out for. Is your table true from top to bottom? So when it says the highest point and the lowest point. Now, if you've got a box plane, like say one of them DeWalt's or Makitas or whatever, you need to make sure that the cutter block is true at the highest extent to the lowest extent. Now, I have made videos on this channel how to set up all the rollers and stuff like that on this channel and on this particular machine. It's actually relatively easy. See, the thing is, if you can get hold of one of these older machines, they do have a lot of adjustments on them. And yes, they do wear, and yes, they had a lot of wear. But in most cases, a bit of TLC, you get a machine like brand new, and it works like a treat. And this one's very old. I've had it a long time, you know. Actually, no, this is the second one I've had. I got this one in France, actually, from an English guy. Now, it is a good machine. It really is a good machine. I like it anyway. It's only a 2-knife cutter block, but that's neither here or there. It's thickness, and you see, that's not necessarily going to be your finished finish. And besides, the actual rotation, the cutting speed is actually pretty darn good. So the thing is, though, you need to make sure the table is true from the highest point to the lowest point. But also, you need to make sure that the cutter block is true to the table. You might need to true the table to the cutter block. You might be able to true the cutter block to the table. But if the table's not true from top to bottom, which you'll need to check as well, by doing what we were doing earlier, but do it at the lowest point and at the highest point. And you'll find there'll be different degrees of inaccuracy from top to bottom, from the extremities. Generally speaking, the table at its highest point is going to be the worst, if you know what I mean, because everything's on, it's up on limb, isn't it, you know? So it's extremities. So anyway, I hope that was of help. If I do need to shim this machine, I will make a video. But also, I will make a video of actually truing up the table to the cut block anyway, whether it be actually adjusting the dovetail, or whether it be shimming the actual table itself. Now, shimming ain't going to work unless it's the same at the top to the bottom. I think that's clear, isn't it? Let me know in the comments down below. Any questions, leave them in the comments. I do read the comments, but you probably already know. But please, 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 boot the old like button because it helps the channel, you know. Then maybe I won't be in oblivion on my own. Anyway, toodaloo. Oh, don't forget, boot the old like button, maybe subscribe to the channel and the little bell icon, because then you get a warm fuzzy feeling in your pocket every time I upload another video. Now, how quickly can I say that? Toodaloo.